Hey everybody, welcome back to Winsday. Each and every Wednesday, Elevator Construction highlights someone who we feel has the qualities it takes to be an absolute winner. The guy we're going to highlight today is named Mike Ledoux, and we met Mike at a Grant Cardone 10X seminar.
Pay the price today. Come on, pay the price today so you can pay any price tomorrow.
Right on. Work hard today so that tomorrow you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. And that's one thing Mike Ledoux does in spades. Mike Ledoux is a parts guy out of Fresno, California, who has a junkyard, who absolutely has huge dreams and visions, and has absolutely excelled in expanding his business. In fact, he's purchased his neighboring property and is expanding it into an absolute empire. Why don't you sit back, enjoy the conversation with Mike, and learn how to 10X everything. Hey, Mike. Mike Ledoux, come on now. Look at that right there.
Come on now.
Come on now. So, Mike, we know each other pretty well, and I met you at a Grant Cardone and Cardone Ventures event with Brandon Dawson, but our viewers don't know you. Why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself and how you came into your business and where you're going?
Sure. So I'm Mike Ledoux, and my livelihood has been the auto parts business for the past 20 for a long time, 25 plus years. And in the past couple of years, I have made some decisions to transition my life into doing much bigger things. I've made some big decisions. I've put my stake in the ground, and at this point, my transition has turned into a transformation, and the rocket is starting to get the rocket is preparing for liftoff, and things are just going crazy, man.
No, we can see it.
When you make decisions in your life to intentionally make big things happen, and then you support them with commitment and energy, how the things just start happening.
Yeah, no, I've been on many calls with you, Mike, and I've seen the fact that when you talk, your business has really grown month over month continually. And why don't you tell us a little bit about how you've done that? I know one thing is you've called me out on my belief lids being too low. And what do you think the transition really caused you to take off and let your belief lids explode like they have?
Yeah, that's a great question, Norman. And for me to challenge you on your belief lid was easy, because I'm able to see you from a different spotlight than you see yourself. I mean, I see your capabilities as being just the moon, the sky's the limit, right? You're going to outer space, and that's something that happened in my transition phase. Was I really began to visualize myself as a rocket launching into orbit. And once I get into orbit, then we're just going to keep going around and around and around. But the hard part is getting into orbit,
Yeah.
And I think that what pulls me into orbit is my goals and writing my goals down every day. But not just that, but it's making my goals so big that I have to break my head every day. Every time I write my goals down, every morning, every night, I don't miss it. Every time I write my goals down, I have to break my head, because it makes me think about what it's going to take to get from where I'm at to where I'm going, and it's become a nonstop journey. It's like from goal writing session to goal writing session, and I write them right before I go to bed, and then I sleep with them in my dreams, and then as soon as I wake up, I write them down again, and then everything in between is the action of pulling the future forward and becoming that version of me that I know, that what I call my potential, becoming that version of my potential, and doing it through being the best version of me that I can possibly be today.
Well, I'll tell you, since I've met you, you've made quite an impact on me personally, and we're on calls with hundreds of people a week, through the Cardone Ventures ecosystem. And come on now, it's become a pretty big phrase. I know that's sort of your catchphrase. And what is that? What does "come on now" mean to you?
Boom. Come on now. So come on now is come on now is my call to action, right? Come on now is when I need that reminder to myself, like, you're thinking too small. Come on now, come on now, get it straight, get it straight. I tell myself that, and I always have. And so my clients actually pointed it out to me when I began to do Instagram. My clients pointed it out to me. They would always comment, "Come on now," in my comments, and I after a while I started rewatching my videos, and I realized I was saying "come on now" all the time. And so instead of fighting it, I just let it go get loose. And I first started with I made 15 hats, and then the logo changed a few times. Then we finally found a logo we loved. And then the hats turned into t-shirts, and then the t-shirts turned into patriotic. And so "come on now" is for me, it's that catchphrase that just reminds me, don't be a little bitch.
There you go. And I'll tell you, I hear it in our office. I hear it on calls. I mean, people just "come on now," and you're not even involved in the conversation. So the "come on now" movement is alive and well and making things happen. So I love it. Who would you consider three people that have really influenced you in terms of getting to where you are today and making you the man who you become and are continue to evolve to be?
Boy, that's a great question. Two people come to mind right out of the gate, so I'll start with them, and I'll ponder who that third one would be. But I would definitely say that Grant Cardone pushed me. Grant Cardone has had a way of pushing me off the edge every time I need it. So what I visualize there is like we get in life, we get on the edge of the bridge that we want to jump into the water. We get to the edge of the cliff and we want to follow everybody else off. We want to make that leap, but we get scared. And this happens so often. It's unbelievable. It's the difference between achieving great big things and not. It's the ability to take that leap of faith. Grant Cardone has had a way of pushing me off that edge. Just walk by and give me a little oops. And that's how I visualize it, man. It's that simple. That's what he does. And he has done that for me hundreds, if not thousands of times, specifically changing huge things in my life 2 or 3 times with hundreds more to come.
If you don't mind me,
started the transition for me.
If you don't mind me interrupting you a little bit, let me ask you about, you do his training, his online Cardone University. How has it changed you and how has it changed your team?
Oh man, Cardone University has changed. It's changed me. It's helped me understand a sales process. It's helped me understand a leadership process. It's helped me understand the fundamentals of core values in business, rather than staying on them by chance. So many times in my life I've bounced on success, but as quick as I bounce on and it starts to take off, it falls. Yeah. Just like that screen. So many times that I've felt that in my life where I had the formula to success and then I lost it and I couldn't figure it out and how to get it back. And so it takes months or years to before it happens again, the on-ramp.
Yep, I've done it.
Cardone University has helped me understand that there's a formula. There's a formula to the success, and you have to master the formula and practice the formula. Practice, Joe, rehearse the formula, and bring it into life rather than doing it by chance, to do it intentionally. For my people, it has given them the same opportunity. For the people in my company, it is giving them the opportunity to understand what I'm going through, to understand how to achieve success intentionally, and to
to not leave their life up to chance, man. I mean, I've been doing that long enough, letting things happen versus making things happen, and the formula to do that. That's what Cardone U is for
And
me.
I applaud you for investing in that for you and your people, because it truly is, both you and I, we've talked about this multiple times, about really creating an impact, not only for ourselves, but for everyone around us. And that's important, to invest in your team.
Absolutely. So it creates an impact in my family and my people, but it also creates an impact in their family, which creates an impact in the community. And that is the greatest impact that we can create, right? It goes beyond what I'm doing for me and my family. And that's what I love. That's what I love about, one of the things I just love about Cardone U is it's giving my people an opportunity to create an impact and understand what the word impact means.
Good.
Grant Cardone would lead into Brandon Dawson, who I actually met through Grant Cardone, and Brandon Dawson, man, this guy has moved me from so Grant moved me from transactional into a transition phase of my life. Brandon has taken me from the transitional phase of my life to the transformative phase of my life, and I would say that Brandon has been the guy who understands how to explain the roadmap for me to get from where I'm at to where I'm going. So Grant helped me believe spiritually that I could do it. Mm-hmm. Brandon is helping me paint the map of, here's how we go, here's the directions, here's turn left now, go forward 100 paces, turn right.
Yeah.
He's creating that for me, helping me create that, helping me see it.
Yep.
So that's Brandon, and he's the master of that.
Yeah, I will tell you, working with you and working with the whole ecosystem, the two combination of Grant Cardone and Brandon Dawson is an amazing combination, because it's just like two flavors in an ice cream sundae. They both taste individually separate. When you put them together, they taste fantastic, and that's sort of like what they do. They really complement each other well.
They really do, man. It's like Brandon Dawson is the fire. I always picture Brandon as and Cardone Ventures is the fire, and then Grant is just the fuel. I need fuel for the fire, because Brandon helps me create the fire. But it's scary in the fire, man. It gets scary, the shit we're doing, the changes we're making to our life and to our business and to our community, man. It's scary stuff, and there's a reason why everybody's not doing it. It's because you really have to. You got to take chances, and you got to get out of your comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
And Grant is the fire. I mean, Grant is the fuel on Brandon's fire, man. And it's pretty amazing when the two when they work together, which is what they do, right? It's pretty amazing when I become in alignment with them, because that's really what's happening.
Yep.
Is that Grant and Brandon are in perfect alignment, and then I am an alignment piece with them, and then my team is in alignment with me.
That's a great description.
And it's amazing because Grant has a team that's in alignment. Mm-hmm. And Brandon's team is in alignment, and so there's it's not just Grant and Brandon, it's their teams, and then it's me, and then there's the team of us who are the Cardone Ventures clients. We're a team. You and I are
Agreed.
In alignment.
Yep.
We push each other. When I'm scared and I'm having a hard day, I've got a couple dozen people that will take my call right now, and they understand that this is straight up transactional help. Push me right now. I need 2 minutes. Push me.
Yep.
I don't want to know how you doing. You don't need to ask me how I'm doing. I'm going to tell you exactly where I'm at, and I need a push. 2 minutes later, we're off the phone.
Yep.
That's our team, and that's that part of the alignment team that's just amazing with this community.
Maybe you could share the story real quick. When we were having breakfast with Johnny Mosley, and you were considering talking to one of your old business partners, but didn't really want to pick up the phone. Well, how did Johnny help you pick up that phone and make that call?
Yeah. So at GrowthCon 2021, I had committed to make some big moves, and And I knew that I needed to sit at the table with people that were doing big things in order to make big moves. And so I'm sitting at breakfast. I orchestrated a breakfast where Norm was there and Johnny Mosley was there and
I think
Snyder was there.
Larry Snyder.
And, a couple other people were there. Anyway,
Yeah.
I knew that if I put myself in position, big moves would happen. And this was the day before. So this was the first day. We landed the plane last night. First day we're there. I'm sitting at breakfast. I asked Johnny how he got started and what he's doing. He told me his story. I told him mine. And it led up to a big, one of the big things I did in my story is I built some buildings for someone else in my same field in the parts dismantling world. I built them this beautiful facility. Well, now the facility is empty for the third or fourth time, and it's just sitting there as an empty lot. And so I explained it to him, and he said, "You know, Mike, when you get back to Fresno, you need to call that guy up, man. You can't sit on this. You need to call that guy up." And I said to Johnny, "You know what, Johnny? There's a reason I'm sitting at the table with you right now, and I just figured out what it is. I can't wait till I get back to Fresno. The call's not going to have the same impact. How about I call him right now?"
Love it.
And he said, well, shit, you got his number? I said, yeah. He said, well, let's call him up.
Come on now.
Come on now. And so I start going through my phone and I find his phone number. Johnny's looking for a phone, and he finds his phone, and he starts recording me. And I still haven't seen that recording, but I made the phone call, the initial phone call to crack the ice and introduce myself to the people and begin a relationship with them, which we've spoken a couple times since. And it's funny how working with the Cardone family, I realized that even though those conversations haven't been what I would visualize as success, the fact that they answered my call is telling me that they remember who I am.
Absolutely.
And they still have empty buildings that they're paying a mortgage payment on every month.
Yep. I think we all learn, as we know, we learn some things by winning, but we learn a lot more when we have failures. Why don't you tell us about maybe some of your failures you've had in the past, what you've learned from it, and how it's made you stronger?
Oh man, sure. My failures are what makes me stronger, right? That's how we get stronger, is through our failures.
Right on.
I would say one of my biggest, some of the failures that have hurt me the most were right after I bought some commercial property and signed up on a 30-year note with two other guys, two partners. One of them got lost, and I don't know whether he got on dope or whatever his deal was. He got lost, and so right away, my partner and I had to make his stroke. We had to make the construction stroke because we just bought this place and we're remodeling it.
Wow.
And we had to keep our business running while we were moving in. So there's a move going on. We're getting evicted from our old buildings.
Jeez.
We're going through and opening our business, letting our customers know we moved, and all of a sudden this third partner quits making his payments. And so we get into a lawsuit, and through the course of that lawsuit, I lost my house. I had to just really commit to my business. My life just crumbled around me, and at the end, I was standing there with my business,
Yeah.
And my business was my commitment to that commercial property. That was my commitment. I understood that this thing's going to bring cash flow for the rest of my life, and it's going to replace anything I lose during this time period. So I just fought for that and fought for that and fought for that, and I felt like I lost everything around me, And then at the end of the lawsuit, I was so broke and I lost my home. At the end of the lawsuit, I looked at my other partner and I said, "Dude, you got to buy that 17% for me right now, or I'm going to lose my business." And so I sold it to him, So I got right back to where I started, And it was such a painful process, it felt like just loss after loss after loss after loss. But through all that, it took me a few years. It took me 3 or 4 years of reflection to realize that I actually won every single one of those battles. I came out the champion. I survived them, and I learned that I can survive. You're gonna have to put a gun in my mouth and pull the trigger to kill me. That's how it felt like coming out of that.
Yep.
And so that for me was a moment in life where I experienced a lot of loss, and it all turned into victory for me.
No, and I see that you take massive action and you never quit. And they say, winners never quit and quitters never win. How would you define a winner?
A winner? So one of the things, I think a trait that winners have in common is they show up.
Yep.
Winners show up.
Show up.
Winners show up.
Show up. Come on now.
Winners show up. Yeah. So the difference between a winner and a loser is a very fine line, but the winners just keep showing up and they don't quit. Winners don't quit, and if you don't quit long enough, you win. And that's what I define winning. That's how I define a winner. Is winners just keep showing up, man. We keep coming back. We love the pain. We have a different heart. You can't measure the heart of a champion. People underestimate champions. People underestimate winners. You can't measure it. There's no possible way to measure it. And winners just keep showing up, man. We love the pain and we keep showing up. And at the other side of it, people go, man, that's so great, and you did it, and as a winner, I'm like, well, of course I did.
What other choice do I have?
Yeah, you thought something else was going to be the outcome?
Yeah. And I know that you've built a real strong team around you, and your team's getting better as you go. And one of the things you talk about is transparency. How do you use transparency in your business?
That's a great question, Norm. Transparency is a core value that I have learned to advertise it, announce it, train my team to announce it. It's become it is a core value in my business, and transparency is a not only a way of living and a way of doing business, but it is it adds value. Transparency adds value to a human. It adds value to a company. If you're willing to be transparent, it's much easier to have a relationship with someone who's willing to be transparent than to try and have a relationship with someone who is scared of transparency and they're always trying to hide something. We get this in the auto parts business, and it has a tendency to be such a transactional business. But when we get transparent, we find clients that are less worried about price. They're more concerned about working with a great company. They're more concerned about working with someone who does what they say they're going to do. And it's really helping to grow my business. Transparency is also what defines us, right? Because when you stop breathing and life ends, you're going to be remembered as something, right? Mm-hmm. And your transparency is ultimately what people are going to remember is what you let the world know who you are. Mm-hmm. By being transparent. That's how people will remember you.
And I think that's one of the things that really draws people to you is the fact that you are so authentic, because you're so transparent about who you are, the struggles you've had, the victories you've had, and just come on now, this is who I am, and not trying to hide behind a false facade, but being the real Mike Ledoux. And I think that really has helped you grow your business. Like you said, that's going to create your legacy.
Learning to embrace it,
Yep.
I totally agree, Norm. I didn't always embrace it. I've kept my story a secret for so many years, and it's also helped me talk to my kids. It's helped me. Being transparent has helped my kids understand who I am and why I discourage certain things they do, and why I encourage certain things they do. It's being transparent, man. it's like a great way to live.
Well, one of the things that made me proud to be your friend was when your daughter, I believe, is it the ROTC?
Yeah.
She's in the ROTC and she was doing a fundraiser and she was trying to raise what, $950?
Yeah, I think
And,
the original goal was $900.
And we all got her there pretty quickly from your network of friends in the Cardone Ventures group and through people you know from doing business with that respect you. And talk a little bit about how your belief lids and her watching you. I mean this is a compliment to you. A lot of people would call you a junkyard guy, right? You have parts and you take parts off of cars and you sell the chassis and you sell the engines and stuff like that. But you have such bigger aspirations and your belief lids are so much higher than they were 5 years ago. And how has that impacted your daughter?
You know, man, it has impacted her. You know, just this moment in her life she has a vision. She now has an actual real life concept where she not only broke the record, but she tripled the record for anything any kid has raised.
Come on now.
Yeah, for the ROTC program in our area, and her belief lid went to the moon, and now I see her 10xing other things in her life that quickly. That was less than a month ago, and now she's 10xing other aspects of her life, you know, and she's using the terminology 10x. She's more than it, what's really special is that she's gaining the mentality of the 10x.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Yeah, go ahead.
It's not just her. My son's doing it too, man. He's 17 and he's becoming my marketing associate at work. He's 17 years old. He's working part-time, and he is almost completely taken over my marketing as well as 2 other things he's responsible for at work, you know?
Well, you should take over your marketing because you got to quit filming your customers to get that beautiful mug of yours on the camera more often. Come on now.
Yeah, you're right, man. It's there's got to be a balance, and I'm always trying to find the balance.
No, I know. Like Grant says, if they don't know your name and they don't know your face, you know, they won't floor you. And I think you've done a great job with your marketing. I think you're doing a great job with your business. And do me a favor, and I'd like you to share with people some of your, what they call BHAGs, your big, hairy, audacious goals. What is a goal that you have that's so big that just gets you to jump out of bed in the morning, and even when a couple times you said it, you felt embarrassed to even say it, it seemed so big?
Yeah. Ledoux family net worth is $50 billion.
I'm sorry, 50 what? Billion?
Billion.
So you're doing a little hunting and you're trying to be a billy killer.
Hey man, billy killer. Now I'm Billy hunting, but I'm gonna be a billy killer.
Be a billy killer.
Billy killer.
Good.
You know, and I've learned to that used to say my net worth is, and that's transitioned to my family, it's my tribe, man, and without those big, hairy, audacious goals, you got nothing that'll pull you out of bed fast enough. There's got to be scary shit that's pulling you out of bed fast enough to make things happen as big as the stuff we're making happen, you know?
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you something, Mike. You've become we've known each other less than a year. If you think about it, it blows my mind because it feels like we're lifelong friends, and I know we're going to be friends for life. And I've enjoyed meeting you. How can people find out more about you in terms of the Come On Now and about your parts business? Where can they go to find out more about you?
So the Come On Now movement, you would find that at Mike.Ledoux, Ledous, and that's where I'm all over Instagram. Right there is Mike.Ledoux. Now, the parts business is probably, I 10x the parts business over what I'm doing at Mike Ledoux, and you'd find that at 559 Parts on Instagram. I'm omnipresent now. You'll find me on TikTok, you find me on Clubhouse, you find me on YouTube, and I'm really just expanding these things in ways that I never imagined, you know. COVID pushed me to do this. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the first day that I had my country shut down. I think it was March 21st. I showed up to my business, and I was like, how am I going to let the world know I'm open? And I have an electric roll-up door, and so I push the button. As I'm walking up to the door, I see it go up, and I went, that's it, dude. And I shut the door back down, and I grabbed my camera, and I recorded it, and I said, hey, you know what? I'm open, and you're going to have to arrest, if you see it, if I'm not open, it's because I got arrested. Otherwise, we're staying open, America. And that was it, man. And that was when the movement started, and that was, just over a year ago.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, you've done some amazing things, and you can attest. I get called on these calls, but I'd say you get called twice as much, and it's because of who you are, what you stand for, and how authentic you are. And I'm honored and privileged to call you my friend. And I look forward to great things for years to come, Mike.
Awesome, Norm. I appreciate that. When am I going to see you again? Are you going to be in Phoenix next weekend?
I am not going to be in Phoenix next weekend. I'm going to, my next Cardinal Adventures thing is to go to Pete Ferguson, go to stages, so I can be better public speaker and start doing some events. So.
Okay.
But
I'm sure I'll see you regularly, and I'll hope to see you in person soon.
Yeah, well, absolutely. When are you getting your platform? Are you in the process of platforming?
June.
Okay.
Platform delivery is in June.
Good. Well, keep 10Xing it, my brother, and I'll talk to you soon.
10X, baby.
You got it, baby. We'll talk to you. Thanks, buddy.
Come on now.
Come on now.